Hi, everyone. I'm Lauren.
And I'm Lindsey.
And
This
is
Swearing Mama.
Swearing Mamas. All right. Today we're going to talk about one of our favorite topics, mom shaming.
Mom shaming.
Mom shaming. So, yeah, do you want to, should we just dive into it?
Yeah, we can do that.
What's been your experience? Have you had it happen to you or?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Because we've kind of talked about some brief.
Yeah.
Things, but what's like when you think about it, mom shaming, like what happened to you that comes to mind?
I get shamed for the fact that I'm not a stay-at-home mom and that I work. For the fact that my child goes to daycare, I get shamed for. I've got shamed for that my child gets vaccines. What else have I gotten shamed for? Oh, and this is all from one person.
Are they saying it to your face or online or like what?
Oh, to my face.
Other people?
To my face.
What is it? Is it just like, is it backhanded or is it like blunt? Like,
it's very much like, oh, my grandchild would never do that. Oh, my grandchild goes to his grandparents' house instead of going to daycare. And I'm like, I wish his grandparents were home and were able to take care of him instead of daycare. That would save me money a week. But no, I don't have that luxury. Right. So my child has to go to daycare.
Yeah.
I got shamed again by the same person for my child watching YouTube videos on his iPad. And I'm like, you're lucky I'm even here. It was like we were at a family party, and it was rather late, and my son had been up all day, no nap, and he just wanted to lay on me and just relax, and he asked for my phone. So I gave it to him because he hadn't had the phone all day, no videos, no nothing. And she came over and she asked Tim to play with said child. And he was just completely ignoring her. And I just looked at her and I was like, it's been a long day. Mind you, it's like 9:00 at night. So I was like, it's been a long day. I think he just kind of wants to relax. And she looked at me and she goes, my grandson will never do that. And I was just like, meanwhile, in my head, I had so many things that I wanted to say, but because this is a family member and it's not like one of my family members, I bit my tongue. But right after she walked away from me, I went to my husband. I said, we're leaving because I'm really aggravated right now and I'm going to go off if she says anything else. So we just need to leave the situation before it gets worse.
Yeah, I don't even know. I feel like I would go off too.
Yeah, so I've informed him and a few other family members that if this happens again, I'm not holding back next time. And that I also really don't want to be around said family member ever.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I don't blame you.
I've kind of taken a break from them, which isn't hard. But I foresee it being an issue later, and I'll just have to explain myself and be like, well, you're kind of a bitch to me 24/7. Like every time I see you, you shame me for something else that I'm doing.
Yeah, I feel like with people like that, you almost just have to be like blunt back. Like it doesn't even have to be a confrontation, but so much as like my grandson wouldn't do that, and you're like, oh, well, that's really cool for your grandson. That would be. I feel like that's how I would respond to that, but I don't know.
I'll tell you how I wanted to respond later because. Again, I don't know if they'll ever listen to this, so that's why I'm trying to be so vague without saying.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if they do listen to this, like, they should they should feel stupid and embarrassed. Like, if they realize that they made you feel bad, like, they should feel dumb, not mad at you.
I probably could be less vague, because every time this person says something, they're rather drunk. So they might not even remember saying things to me. But I remember and don't want to be around you.
Yeah. Yeah, don't blame you. That's terrible. So,
how about you?
I haven't had too many direct ones. Like, I think once or twice in, like, from a stranger Facebook comment, you know. And then one time, I don't even know if this counts, but I also had, like, a distant family member thing happen that wasn't at me, but was said in front of me, that I, like, was about to cry, and I just, like, left the room. It was also about screens.
Oh, I remember this story.
Yeah, like the same situation that you said. I just felt like, really, like, I'm doing my best here. But yeah, so I just think that, like, mom shaming someone is just the worst. Like, why? I don't understand why people do that. Like, in the Facebook comment that it went to, I know we'll get into this whole debate at a later date, but this person was, like, criticizing me for not circumcising my son and pretty much wished harm on him and said it would be my fault.
The same person?
Like, no, this was the Facebook comment.
Okay. I was about to say, wait a second.
That was, like, the only time it's been really, like, directly done to me, and I just felt like that was horrible. Like, why would you ever wish harm on someone's child? And also, like, why would you ever say, well, if this happens to your kid, like, it's your fault? Because, I mean, people, at the end of the day, I really think everyone is doing the best for their kids. I mean, unless you're, like, neglecting and abusing them, then even if your choice isn't the best one, like, I really think people are, like, doing the best that they can, you know, with what they have. So that really upset me, but I didn't go off on her. Like, I used it as an educational moment and as, like, a moment of kindness. But, yeah, other than that, like, I've never really had it come to me directly, but I do think I would go off.
Yeah, it takes literally every ounce. Well, I mean, you know me. No. It takes every ounce of my being to not say something back.
Yeah.
No, Tommy. No. But, No, Tommy.
I just don't know if I have that last piece of the filter that says, like, don't say anything, don't say anything. Like, I have to literally leave the situation or I think I'm going to say something.
Yeah, and that's, like, exactly what I did the last time. The other times I kind of just laughed it off and, like, turned away from her and got into another conversation with someone else. But this last time, it was like she came to me and, like, attacked me, and I was just like, what are you even doing? Like, get away from me. Like, who cares? It's literally 9:00. Like, you're lucky I'm even here.
Yeah, like, and also, I don't know why everyone seems to think they know best, but is it seriously that deep to you? Like, you need to tell someone else how to parent?
Yeah, and it's like, well, I don't want to get into their family dynamic, because I'm just like, you know, the saying fits for this. You shouldn't throw stones if you live in a glass house. Yes. Because let me tell you, this person lives in a glass house, and I'm like, if you really want to mom shame me for this, I can come at you 10 times harder. And the stuff will say is legit. So don't even come at me. I am trying my absolute hardest.
I don't know how I'm going to edit that out, so I'm just going to go ahead and say now that I'm coming back from my child throwing a temper tantrum and having to move him and relocate him. So anyway.
The joys of momming. Both of us lost our train of thought, but it's okay. We might re-talk about things.
I think we were saying how, like, it's hard to not say anything.
Oh, yes. It's like I try to bite my tongue, and this person lives in a glass house and throws stones all the time at me. And I'm just like, you realize that I could say a lot of things that would be more, what's the word? More traumatizing, I guess, than my child watching YouTube of some of the things that you do or have done or things of that nature. So I'm just like, don't come at me because you're not going to like my answer.
Yeah. Plus, like, everyone's does something, like, nobody's perfect.
No.
So I don't really, I mean, I can't sit here and, like, pick apart each individual mom what they're doing wrong because I don't have all the answers. And so, therefore, I don't sit around and judge people.
Yeah. I think I've said this before. I have a lot of thoughts on other parents, but I don't voice them to anyone. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I see something and I'm like, I don't say anything. So I guess you could say I'm kind of a mom shamer, but I don't, like, post about it or say it to them. I just kind of think it. I mean, everyone thinks things.
Everyone thinks things, but you don't need to say everything you think to people.
Correct. Like, I know when to not voice. Because, again, it's, like you said, everyone's parenting style is different. So I'm like, well, I guess that works for them, but whew, you know?
Yeah, plus I think if you walk around with anything, parenting or really anything, with an attitude that you know everything and are doing everything right, you're probably going to do a worse job for that because you're never going to be open to learning anything or you're never going to be open-minded to other ways. And, like, the fact is no one knows everything.
Yeah.
So I mean, and of course, like, some people like to throw around the word mom shaming in maybe, like, an inappropriate way because, like, you and I have mentioned before, if it's something about, like, safety for the child.
Yeah.
You know, like, car seat, like, if you see a car seat installed incorrectly, like, that's not mom shaming to say, like, hey, your car seat's installed incorrectly. Like, you should share that information. Like, why wouldn't you want your kid to be safer, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't think that counts as mom shaming. And, like, in my opinion, too, there's, like, nothing wrong with sharing facts and education as long as you're not criticizing someone. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I've also got shame for having my child still rear-facing.
Well, those people are uneducated.
Yeah. I'm just like, well, he doesn't meet the weight requirement. Therefore, rear-facing.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, he meets the weight requirement, but he hasn't exceeded the rear-facing weight restriction. You know what I mean? So I'm like, Nope. Until he reaches that, he will be rear-facing.
Yeah.
It's the safest position.
And it's just like we should be able to share facts and information without getting defensive. We just don't need to tell everyone, like, you know, you're a shit mom. Like, if you see another kid who's not rear-facing and should be, like, you could say, hey, your kid is still too little to be forward-facing, but you don't need to be like, hey, your kid is forward-facing, you're a piece of shit. Like,
yeah.
That's the difference, I think. And, I mean, pretty much in any type of parenting, like, mind your business. But if there's a topic that you are just interested in or want to share about, like, I just think you can do it in a friendly way without criticizing. But I mean, in my experience, I think everybody that like straight up mom shames is just always insecure. And I think mom shaming is like a way to make ourselves feel better about like what our choices or what are maybe our fears or whatever. It's kind of like the worse that someone else is doing, the better we know that we're doing. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So it's easy to be like, oh, well, you did this and that with your kid. Like your kid uses iPads. My kid will never use iPads. So you're a bad mom, because then that means that, you know, I'm a good mom. But in reality, that's of course not the case. But I really think that's the root of most mom shaming, is people just want to feel better about themselves. I don't really think anybody cares that much about other people. I think that people just really care about themselves.
Yeah.
And I guess the reason why I bring that up is because, like, realizing that has helped me, even though I haven't dealt as much with the mom shaming, but just kind of in general, when people are critical or are mean, like, usually that's kind of how I break it down, is, like, I really think, like, why would that person, like, feel the need to say that? And my kid's not in an unsafe situation, or, you know, it's not, like, something like that. So I really can like look at their life and their situations and be like, okay, like this is through their filter. And I think that saying it for them is just reassuring. It just makes them feel better about themselves. And I guess that makes it like hurt a little less to me.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, well, this really isn't about me at all. So I don't, feel as hurt personally. Or maybe it's about me, but not my parent. Like maybe they have a problem with me, but not me as a mom, just me as a person,
Yeah. No, I agree. Like I said, the person who shaped me, now that you mentioned that, like I said, they live in a glass house. So they're probably thinking that in these areas, they're a great mom, where I am not, for the fact that I have my child on an iPad, or heaven forbid vaccinated him. I don't even want to bring that up again.
Right.
But you know where we stand, guys. I don't remember what else the daycare thing. So my child is 3 and I've never let my child spend the night over anyone else's house, like grandparents included. And I get shamed for that literally all the time, even by my husband. And I'm just like, guys, like, my reasoning for that is because of Tim's accident. Like, that happened under my watch, and he was in, like, you know what I mean? Like, now he's in his own bed, like, you know what I mean? So I'm like, no, I'm not letting him go to his grandparents' house, who literally don't have a bed for him. Where is he going to sleep? Could this happen again? Like, that happened on my watch, so I'm not letting anyone out. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just hard.
Yeah, and 3 is not that old to be not sleeping over places, in my opinion.
Right. And I'm just like, guys, get out of here. Like, I have my reasoning. I've had literally the worst possible, well, not the worst possible thing, but one of the worst things to happen to my child happened to my child. And that was under my watch. And I have not forgiven myself for that. So it's like, I don't trust people overnight. Like, if you want to watch Tim and we're going away, maybe I'd let you do it if we stayed at our house. But even then, I'm not at that point yet. Like, I don't drink, I don't go out. So I'm like, there's no need for me to be out that late to where you need to have him sleep over, you know?
Yeah, no.
So I'm just like, no, I'm good.
Yeah, it's so much generalizing too. Like, just because you don't want him to specifically sleep over doesn't mean that you're overprotective or any one type of parent. It's just one thing that you don't want to deal with. Like, I have certain things with Oliver that I still am more really paranoid about, but then other things I am not at all. I mean, of course there are like those helicopter parents and there's like the free range parents. But I think most of us are somewhere in between, and like we're not all going to agree on every single issue. And that doesn't mean like, of course, like I wouldn't care if Oliver slept over at, you know, like my parents' house or something. But actually he has. Did he? Yes, he did once. It was a crazy weekend. I was in a wedding. Yeah, he did once. So like that's not, but I don't have a reason why that would give me anxiety, you know?
Yeah.
Versus other things, I'm sure, like I'm not thinking of at the moment for some reason, but you know, there are other things that I'm like, no, I don't trust.
Yeah. And it's not like he's never spent the night over my parents' house. We have, but my parents also live 2 hours away. So it's like when we go see my parents, I'm also staying over my parents' house.
Yeah.
And even then, like we stopped doing, now my parents live an hour away. So we just do day trips because trying to get a 3-year-old to stay in a bed that's not his bed or in his room, it's impossible. So it's like, no, we'll leave, we'll get up early, we'll head down and we'll stay late, but we're not sleeping over because it's just hard.
Yeah. Yeah, everyone has like usually a good reason for each thing that I think that matters to them. I wish everybody wouldn't need to pick at it.
Yeah, I agree.
And just think about that before you freaking criticize somebody too, you know? Like, you don't know.
You don't know my wife.
Yeah. And I mean, if you really want to be that freaking nosy, you can ask them. Be like, well, why are you uncomfortable with that? And like, it's not your job to judge if their reason is valid, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
It's just not your problem. But I really think that like people who seem like confident and seem like they've got it figured out, like those are not the people walking around judging. And I mean, like you and I have texted each other plenty of things like that other moms we know have done and been like, what do you think about this? And been like, and I would never do that. That's wild.
Yeah.
But I mean,
but again, we're not posting it on their thing. Like I would never do that. Like,
right.
And it's not like we're talking about this mom behind their back. It's just, hey, do you see this as being strange? Or is it just me?
Right. Because, and I think that's like an important tool in parenting for you to really like figure out, like that's how you become confident too, is like thinking about other people's choices and judging like, would I do that? And like sometimes you work through that with your friends or your family, people who are close to you, people who have parented before you, whose opinions you trust, people who are educated, you know? Like, I think that's a good way to work through it, but confronting that person in an aggressive way is not.
Not at all.
Yeah. Yeah, mom shamer sucks. I just think it's the worst. It's the worst freaking thing. I really
And it's the worst when it's someone in your family.
Oh, I can't even.
It's hard to escape them, guys. It's hard.
Right.
Like, I feel bad because it's like I said, I don't even want to be around this person. So it's like, thankfully I can't give much away. I'll just say we don't see them often. So it's not like I have to see them weekly, monthly. Sometimes it's not even yearly. But I told my husband, and thankfully my husband doesn't really like this person either. So he was okay with the fact that I didn't want to be around them anymore. But I'm just like, I don't think I'm going to go next time they are invited to something. Cause I'm just like, it's literally every time I'm around this person, I get shamed for something. And I can tell you, it's never been the same thing twice, which is shocking. But
That's
yeah,
crazy.
And I'm just like, I told my husband and a couple of his other family members, I said, look, if it happens again, like I will say something and I will not hold back. I will bring up their life under a magnifying glass. Mm-hmm. I'm just like, I'm not going to hold back because it's just, I've held back for literally 3 years now.
Yeah, I wouldn't either. And I mean, it's like being a mom is pretty much the most important job that you get.
And the hardest job you get.
And the hardest, yeah. And so when you criticize that to someone, you're firstly telling them, like, I know this is the hardest thing in the world, but, you know, you're still not doing good enough. And secondly, I know this is the most important thing to you, and you're fucking it up. Yeah. And I just think, like, it's not, like, that's the most hurtful thing. I mean, if you were to never have kids, like, but maybe you won, you know, a Nobel Peace Prize and someone criticized that work, like, that would really hurt. That's your life's work. And, like, you shouldn't do that lightly.
Yeah.
You should really, like, consider that, what that means to someone. Like, if you want to say that you don't like me and I look funny, then go ahead. But don't freaking talk about my child, and don't talk about, like, my way of parenting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I've always been very protective of my family. Like, no one talks about my mom or my dad or my brother without me saying something. And now it's like my child. Like, you're not going to talk about my child without me getting fire engine red angry.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, people, why is it so hard for people to be nice?
I mean, not just in parenting. It's hard for people to be nice in any form these days.
And I hate it because, like, for these people who clearly are insecure or are unsure about themselves or aren't confident, like, this could be a really positive experience if you could just open your mind up and just stop being defensive for a minute. Like, if I truly had no idea about, like, let's just go back to the car seat safety again. Like, say I know nothing about it, and, like, you redirect me something, I can either shut it down and you know, blow up at you, or if we can do this in, like, a nice way, like, if you're nice to me and I'm nice to you, you could teach me something. You know, like, if we can all admit that we don't freaking know everything, and if we can all, like, trust that we're all doing our best, then I think we all have a lot to offer each other. Because, you know, what you're doing a great job at with Tim, like, might be the hardest thing for me with Oliver, or I might know all sorts of stuff, you know, that I'm using to parent Oliver that you might know nothing about. And it's like, if we can, which you and I can do, you know, communicate openly with open mind and, like, an open heart, then we have the chance to, like, learn from each other and grow. But if all we do is attack others, then, like, you really are hurting yourself more than anything, because you're depriving yourself community, you're depriving yourself support and friendship, and you're depriving yourself, again, the opportunity to learn anything.
Exactly.
So basically, if you mom shame, you dumb.
Basically.
We also have a shirt in our merch site that has, like, a middle finger emoji, and it's got, like, the F star, whatever, mom. It's just like fuck mom shaming, but blurred out.
Oh, and they're called asterisks?
Oh, yeah. Asterix. It has ass in it because you bleep out ass because it's a naughty word. I think there's always at least one point in our podcast where the IQ level just dips so low. I think this was it.
Yeah.
I think this was that. But yeah, so if you're into that and you want to communicate with the world that you're not putting up with their bullshit, you could go get that shirt on our Teespring.
Maybe I should buy that myself and wear it to my
should. Oh my God. I would
next time I see.
I love it so much.
I bought this hat that says no drama on it, and I like to wear that to things that I know will be drama filled. I'm like, the subtle, no drama. And then there's, like, the peace sign emoji on, like, the back of the hat. And I'm like, yes, this is my life, guys. If drama breaks out, I kind of just point to it sometimes. I'm like, oh, no drama.
That is so cute. Yep, you need the mom shaming one for when you go over there, and you just point to the shirt, be like, listen, lady.
Hey, guys, this is me. Don't shame me.
No shaming, bitches.
Motherfuckers.
Have you ever sorry, have you ever had like someone talk about another parent in front of you? Like, okay, I don't mean how you and I are like friendly talking, but like like maybe I'm gonna pretend that your brother, I don't know which names you want said in this show, sorry. Let's pretend your brother had a kid. Your brother doesn't have a kid, right?
No.
Okay, I didn't think so, but then I was like, maybe I don't want to be wrong. I don't want to be wrong here. Okay, so let's pretend he had a kid, and you like were at your parents' house, and your mom was like, "Oh, you do so good with this, and that. He would never let his kids do that," or something to that. Says something derogatory about your brother, you know?
Yeah.
As a parent, like, have you experienced a situation like that?
I don't think I have. But we're also like one of the only ones in both of our families that have a baby right now.
Okay.
So maybe we'll be the parent that's later compared. But for now, no, we're like the only ones. We don't really have that.
I'm just curious if that counts as mom shaming, because it's not to their face.
I would say that's a very subtle mom shame kind of going on.
Like a different kind.
And I think it's a different kind.
Would you like defend that person, or?
I think it would depend on the situation.
Yeah.
But most likely I probably would.
Yeah.
Because they aren't there, and that's kind of a, you know, like, I think I would need more of a better, like, example, like.
Yeah. I don't know. I was just thinking about that.
They would never, because I'm like, well, what would they never do? What did I do?
Like, oh yeah, well, never mind. I was going to say, let's say the iPad thing, but Tim does the iPad. Yeah, I don't know. I got nothing.
So let's say it was about me. So let's say my mom was saying to my brother, "Oh, you do so good with not having your child watch the iPad. Lindsey would never do that," kind of thing.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's a form of mom shaming. I don't think it's as powerful for the fact that, again, it's not done to the person's face or on the internet or, you know what I mean, in front of the person.
Yeah.
But if the person found out, yeah, it's definitely a form of mom shaming.
Hopefully they would never find out if that happened.
Well, I mean, if it was to my brother, me and my brother are pretty close, so he would probably tell me.
He would tell you.
And then I would call my mom and be like, "What the hell, bitch?"
So I have a rule against, I don't tell people mean things that are said about them unless it's important that they know.
I like that. But now I'm second guessing everything in my life that has anyone ever told you mean things about me and you just haven't told me?
No, I mean, if someone...
Now I'm thinking that there has been, and you're just not telling me.
I can only think of one time someone said something mean about you, actually.
Oh no, what was it? Now I'm curious.
It doesn't. Tell me. I'll tell you because it was really far off. It doesn't count. This is when I was, for all of our listeners, I was in an abusive relationship for a year. Anyway, you and I were talking about it. You didn't say anything wrong at all, but he saw the messages and said, "Oh, well, she's fucking stupid."
Now I gotta remember who.
His name was Matt. I'll spell his full name out. Everybody can go search him. I'm just kidding. But yeah, I think that's something that abusers do, is try to like isolate you from your friends.
Yeah.
So that was a clarifying moment to me, because I was like, yeah, no, I would never date someone who talks about my friends like that, you know? So
yeah.
That was one of the first eye-opening moments at the end of that.
Oh, and it was about me?
Yeah.
I was the eye-opening moment? Guys.
Yeah. Like, I'm not going to be with someone who calls one of my best friends stupid.
Yay. Because I'm not.
No. You're smarticle.
I'm smarticle. I'm smarticus. Yeah. I wish I could say that was the first time I've been called that.
Well, I mean, also, it's like, that was the best he had, so.
Yeah.
It doesn't hurt too bad. But
Because it's funny because my abusive relationship said the same thing, but about me.
oh no,
It's kind of like the same.
You know what's funny? I wonder if Matt like listens to this podcast.
I honestly don't remember him.
Good.
Like, I remember the situation, but I don't remember what he looks like or that his name was Matt.
Well, he wasn't very good looking. And his name was Matt.
Doggin.
I mean, I'm not even like just saying that in retrospect. It was a bad time of my life when I like got into that relationship, and yeah, I don't know. It wasn't a good time. It wasn't a good time. So I'm glad that you don't remember because yeah, it wasn't a good time.
I'm glad that that's the only person who's ever said something bad about me. This makes me feel so much better.
Yeah. But see, like, I can tell you now and it doesn't bother you, but...
at the time, I probably would have ripped his head off.
Right. And also, like, I didn't want you to feel bad. So
I don't think I would have felt bad because I didn't really know him.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like if it was, like, one of your parents or your brother saying that about me, that would kill me. But because it's just this random person who was the worst, that doesn't bug me. He was just trying to turn you against me.
Yeah, the absolute worst. And then, like, I mean, long after we broke up, he was still, like, messaging me on Facebook. He, like, had a serious girlfriend. I was engaged and had moved out of state. And, like, he would still message me and be like, we should meet up and get coffee. We should be friends. So, yeah, he was freaking crazy. So, my point of that is that it wouldn't be that surprising if you listen to this podcast. If so, hey, buddy.
Hey, I'm not stupid.
Lindsay's not stupid, so fuck you.
I have a degree.
It's funny because he has a kid, so
maybe he does listen.
Yeah, he needs.
He should listen.
Actually, like when
I'll just send him the link.
When I was like breaking up with him, one of the times he was like, "Oh, we should have a kid together."
No. And that's another thing about abusive relationships.
Yeah.
They try to tie you down.
I know. Yeah.
So you can't leave. Well, you can, but it's harder.
Maybe we should like do an episode about this. I don't know if any of our listeners are dealing with that, but
we could because we were both in one or two or three.
Oh, God. Yeah, maybe we should talk about that sometime. But yeah, so that got off of mom shaming. It got into Lindsay shaming.
It got into me shaming because it's all about me, guys.
Oh, do you have any tweets?
I do. Okay. So all my tweets are about mom shaming.
Oh, shit.
You know me, I like to go on theme. So my first one is from Brittany Wilbanks at Hot Mess Farms. Oh, I love that. And she said, when I was a child, McDonald's was a treat. Fast forward to me becoming a mother. Now it's a basic food group for my children. I'm that mom shame. And then McD's sponsored by Wilbanks Farms.
Cute. I have Daddy Doubts. Said, my toddler got angry when I couldn't make the sun come out of the clouds, and if that's the bar he set for me, then shit, kid, welcome to a lifetime of disappointment.
So my next one is from Beauty and the Beast Tones, at the Beast Tones. And they said, the hashtag mom shame has to stop. Sham working wham. I don't know what that means. We're all effing working. Can we let mom's mom? We talk about inequality and all the things men do, but my God, the things women do and say to each other is sick. Empowered women empower women. Remember that.
Yes.
And then it was a picture of another snap that is what caused her to make this tweet. And it says, I don't get how these stay-at-home moms can't find the time in the day to cook and just throw things in the crock pot. I work full-time, plus I'm a mom, and both me and my husband cook. Well, good for you.
Yeah, good for you. Like, I'm not really spending a lot of time in the kitchen during my day home with my child.
No, I used to be a stay-at-home mom, and let me tell you, it is literally the hardest thing I've ever done job-wise.
Yeah,
It's
like I think a lot of people
so
don't realize there's not time to
hard.
really do chores very much because my child is hanging onto my leg and whining and screaming, and then he needs food, then he's shitting his diaper, and it's like, yeah.
And then it's like when he takes a nap, that's literally your only time alone.
Yeah,
so
and for
I
me,
want to enjoy doing that with something I want to do, whether it be catching up on Facebook or watching a TV show I've been wanting to watch all day but couldn't, or, it's like I don't want to just go and then be like, oh, well, let me do this load of laundry because I haven't been able to do it all day. Like, no, that's my 1 hour of me time. Me time.
Yeah, plus I literally can't. Like when Oliver's napping, if I do any chores outside of my bedroom, he will wake up.
Yeah.
Anyway.
That's how my son was too. He had to sleep on me. So like my naps consisted of him. So I really was able to watch my TV shows, and that was it because I couldn't do anything else.
Yeah, I'll usually maybe like eat a meal, watch a show while I do it, and then maybe like meditate and then like do something in my room if there's like cleaning I can do in there or something. Or
not to mention the whole being a stay-at-home mom, you literally have no human interaction for 8 hours, if not more, a day.
Yeah.
And then when your husband gets home or your significant other, like they don't think about that. So it's like they want to decompress and be alone kind of thing from their day because they've been with a lot of like human interaction. And it's just like, right. I want to talk. Like I want to talk to you, and I'm going to talk your ear off because I have had no one to talk to me all day besides a 2-year-old who can't talk.
Exactly. I'm like, there was a bee outside today.
Exactly.
Great,
I'm like,
honey.
Tim did the craziest thing like this, and I'm like, he pooped and it was green. Like, it's like,
yes,
just talk to me about anything. I want to know what happened at your day because I want you to talk to me. I want to know everything because I literally have dealt with baby poop and throw up today.
Yes.
So yes, momming is hard.
It is. We should be nice to each other. SAH_nurse mom. I can be a good parent and also say fuck. Fuck, I didn't think this was something I had to clarify.
Accurate. So my last tweet is from, Nina B by Hair Fairy Nina. And she said, I just had someone try to hashtag mom shame me on Instagram. She has no idea who she's fucking with. Me. Accurate.
Yeah, I remember when Oliver was really little, a couple of times I saw someone mom shame someone else on the internet, and I would get really mad and come to their defense.
Yeah.
So I'm that mom, but for others.
Yeah, I do it for others sometimes too.
And I feel like we should stand up for each other and like support one another.
Mm-hmm. Empowered women empower women.
I feel like we're at a convention right now.
Yes. We're just going to keep chanting.
At Sugarwits, me. I've been exercising for a month and I still don't have my body back. Priest. The last 10 demons are always the hardest to lose.
Oh my goodness.
Nothing to do with momming. I just thought you'd like it. Oh, I have a mom sip.
Go for it.
Okay, it's very simple and small, but I feel like that's kind of the point of this section, right?
Yeah.
So if you have a kid in diapers, don't buy those diaper bags or anything like that. What I do is I just save every bag that I receive, like bread bags, for example, or even if there's like a bigger dishwasher pod or laundry pod bag, and I just shake it out when it's empty, and then I'll just save that and put dirty diapers in there.
I love that.
Yeah, cut down a little on waste too, and you don't have to buy those stupid bags.
At first, I thought you meant like a diaper bag, and I was hoping you were going for like the backpack because that's what I did.
Actually, if you just connect all of them and then put it on your back, it makes a diaper bag.
You can make a very see-through, fashionable diaper
bag. Okay, well, my child is screaming, so.
All right, enjoy. Have a good night, guys.
Bye.
Bye.